Welcome to the Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining me. Well, as I said, now the boat's on the trolley for a couple more weeks. I need to crack on with all the other jobs. And the second coat of paint is the next one I need to kind of start applying. But before I do that, I need to kind of finish the first coat. And in doing so, I need to think about what I'm doing with these hinges. Basically, none of them are uniform. They've got like this one here is quite a nice one. It's got like this pretty kind of pattern, like a petal on there, but that one less so. On that side it's got none, on the other side they're all a bit different. So I reckoning paint over them in green, keep that one cream, and keep the bar down the centre cream, and see what that looks like. So that's the plan. And obviously I've got still quite a lot of touching up to do around the stern and the bow as well before I put on the second coat. Postman's bin. Hope these come in handy. No idea as to the quality, but had a good write-up. If not suitable, let me know and I'll order whatever you choose. From Carol. It says what it is on the box, I still don't know what it is. Oh, cool. Ear defenders. Oh, cheers, Carol. Wow, brilliant. This is a gift for your dad. Keep calm and play guitar mug. Oh, two keep calm and play guitar mugs. One for me and one for Dad. Oh, perfect. Well, this is a little bit unusual. Not being inside the boat, but being inside a tidy bow bedroom. The reason for it is because I have Alex from Aqua Furnishers coming today, and he is coming to measure up all of the internal cushions and stuff like that. And so what I'm having one here on the observation area, obviously one for the bed, so mattress for the bed, and then dinette cushions, and then obviously the backs for the dinettes. The important one about this is that obviously it's got to have a kind of a separate cushion bit in the middle, so I can easily access this. I don't want to have to take everything off to do that, so kind of a little kind of cushion that fits in the middle of it will be fine. Mattress, that's pretty straightforward. I think they do like a waterproof like bed mattress for boats, so I think that's what Alex is going to suggest I go for that one. And for the dinette, so what Alex has done is he's measured up the back cushion and the back wall cushion there, and then a removable piece that will come down the side here, and then one over the top there, and then an infill bit for the double bed. So all he's going to come back to me and let me know is whether that bit there can be used for that bit there. So we're just going to work that out, or he's going to work that out and come back to me. That brewdog's bloody nice. Another example where beer and painting a narrowboat kind of go hand in hand. I'm still doing more of this cream on the detail. It's getting worse before it's getting better, basically, the painting, because I'm slapping on the cream. I've got to go over the green to do so. There's no point masking this line up, because to get the curve in and everything, it's just going to take forever. I might as well paint it all and then do 2 coats of cream, and then we'll go on with the green afterwards, because I get a nice crisp line that way. So there's loads of kind of parts of the boat now, so I'm just kind of going all the way around it, doing this particular thing. So it's getting worse and worse every time I look at it now. But the bits where you don't see the line, i.e. kind of on the top here, it's looking brilliant. The double coating of cream, I'm going to probably go with 3 or 4 coats of cream, but it's just looking really nice. It's really bringing out the colour. And in a minute I've got to go and do exactly the same in the stern, all around the area, do all the uprights again, make a kind of proper base around the uprights, and whilst I'm there I'll explain my madness, which is the cruiser stern deck, because obviously that raised a bit of a controversy the other day. Suggested that I was going the wrong way with this. So a few things. I'll remind you that I'm going to be getting a pram hood. The reason for this is an 8-foot deck. It's, you know, a fifth of the size of the boat. It needs to be as usable as it can be. So a pram hood is what's going to be attached. There's one on order. It's going to be here by the end of, well, by maybe the beginning of the autumn. So in time for the heavy rain. Obviously until then, yeah, I've got a problem. luckily it's the summer. So the pram hood is going to basically stop 95% of all the rain coming in here. There is going to be some moisture coming in, so there's condensation because the pram hood condenses itself. There'll be a bit of splashing around. There'll be, there won't be gaps in it necessarily. Well, there won't be any gaps in the actual structure of the pram hood, but obviously there'll be side doors and there's windows in it. So if they were left open and if it were to rain, then yes, the place would fill with, well, there'll be splashes coming in. The main issue with the pram hood and rain is that if you are navigating, some of the bridges, I'll stress only some of the bridges, are too low for a pram hood. So you'd have to take it down like you do with the chimney and the comms mast and other things to get underneath the bridge. If it was pelting down with rain, obviously, if I was to take the pram hood down, the stern would fill with water. Well, it would get wet. I can't imagine I'm going to be doing a huge amount of cruising in the rain. If I had to, I'd have to. It'd just be one of those things you'd have to sort out. But in the area where I'm mostly going to be, the bridges are high enough anyway. So I think there might be one bridge kind of in the London area which is probably too low for a pram hood, but I'll make my peace with that. That's no big deal. So that is going to be the main reason why obviously this area is not going to be getting wet. When it's not raining and stuff, it's fine. It'd be, it's no problem at all. Now, the other thing is obviously access to areas. So I do need to obviously access the engine area. I need to access the weed hatch here, and I might need to access the batteries. But I've got an access point at the front of the batteries there. These are just going to be panels which fit in. Much like all the other engine compartments, you just need quick access to it. So I'm just going to get, I'll just make a frame so that a top with this decking will fit inside it, and it'll be nice and strong. I think that's going to be the solution. I'm going to raise the deck very slightly at the bow end of the stern, because so it's got a very slight gradient to it, because there is a drainage channel here, and that means all the water will at least run one way. This is treated timber, it lives outside, it's built for decks. Everyone says it's slippery, and of course it is. Everyone has slipped over on this stuff before. I'm reliably assured, and I've seen it happen many times, that if you were to treat this many times and then coat sand on it, this is as grippy as you like. That's fine. I mean, if it was absolutely covered in water, then yeah, it might be slipping, but there's going to have to be a whole load of mistakes happen for that to be the case. So it's going to be fine. Look, it's not teak, I appreciate that, but I can't afford teak. The other thing I can't afford is to redo this whole area out of steel, raise it up and put in proper drainage channels. The work is just, there's a lot of work involved in it, and really for what? That's what it all comes down to. With a pram hood on, this is going to be a dry area. Mine, a few splashes and spills or whatever, but it's fine. It's going to be, it will all go down into the bilge, and there's a bilge pump down there. It's going to be one of the things of managing the boat where every now and then I'll just have to go down there and kind of inspect it and scoop bits out and mop it out or whatever. But everyone has to do that with a bilge, whether you've got a dry bilge or an open one. Everyone has to do that. It's just part of boating. So I appreciate all of your comments and stuff. Look, if this is horrific and if it really doesn't work, in a year's time I'll rip it all out and do something different. But it's going to be fine. As I said, it's going to be a pram hood. I've seen many boats with timber decks. Many people commented, have you seen anything like that before? And the answer is yes, loads of times. There is I don't want to have just big boards down, because with all the panels I'm going to need to have, it's just going to be a series of panels. That's just going to look crap. It's all going to be not uneven, but it's going to wobble a little bit, unless I was to make them out of steel. But then we're talking proper money again, and I'd rather spend the money on the crown wood and make a kind of a nice floor. The reason I'm not going for phenolic ply which others suggested, which is this stuff, the stuff I've made the steps out of. The main reason is, yeah, it's got a bit of grip to it, but again, if that is soaking wet, it's got no, you know, it's not as good as sand on this stuff. It's a bit ugly, it's a bit dark. The advantage of this is that it bounces quite a nice lot of light, especially off the Bethnal Green kind of that wall there. It just makes it nice and kind of light in here. And once I've built all the seating up to this area, kind of the little benches for the storage and for the kids to sit on and stuff, I think it's gonna, this against that is gonna look really good. So I'm gonna keep going with it. I've obviously taken advice, and basically people have, the long and short of it is, if this area is covered and there's only a small amount of moisture getting in here, it makes no difference what this floor is made out of. It can be made out of bloody paper mache. It's going to be fine. It's going to stay dry, but you know, I think what I want is for it to be usable, quite easy to make, quite cheap to make. And look, as I said, it's not permanent. If it's the wrong thing, or if in a year's time I change my mind with it all, then it can all come up again. The only thing we're still working out is the gear travel. It's still, so you know, that's just something to bear in mind. So I'm going to kind of keep constructing it, but then there might be a bit of a change with that gear lever construction. But there is a few people who I'm liaising with about this, so once we come up with a solution, then that will be altered or whatever it needs to be. The other thing is the gas lock obviously still needs to come out and be replaced. So I'm just going to basically make the floor up to it, because whatever gas locker is going to be the same depth anyway, so that'll be fine, and just take the old one out and put the new one in. And then I'll have a bit of trim around there, because I don't just want the edge of that up against the gas locker, so I'll put a bit of trim on it or something, and I think that'll be fine. The most important thing is obviously I can access this, and I'll be able to access that, and it's nice and sturdy, which it certainly will be.
Well, we've cruised for about an hour, about 2 miles downstream to Welford, and we are just going past the wharf here. But as we turn up to the Wharf Inn, which is the pub, they've got a beer and food festival on, music festival this weekend. So we've turned up here to see what the crack is. Oh, look at that, it's a spot right outside for us.
Oh my gosh, it's there!
Could get in front of there's a theatre back there, there's a coffee getting there.
And here's the beer festival, straight ahead.
Right, what we're going to do, okay.
We're going to turn it round and back up.
I think until we can get off now. Change, so we're going to scratch around that way.
Well, that was a decent bit of mooring. Good spot, John. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you've had a lovely weekend. Till next time, bye bye.